Welcome to Pet Partners, and I should say welcome back because we're very excited to have a new episode for you in this new year, and also to introduce you to the new executive director at the Rutland County Humane Society, Jennifer Perigo.
Thank you.
Hi, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
So pleased to
being-
have
for
you
having
with
me.
us today. We should probably let our viewers know, I think they knew last time that that the Humane Society was looking for a new executive director.
Yes.
And it was, it was a search process, and then of course you were hired, and then it takes a while to figure out
grounded.
what are all the components of this job, right?
Exactly.
So that's why you're here with us today, and you will hopefully continue to, want to come on with us.
Absolutely.
And we will continue Pet Partners in a regular fashion, and folks will be excited about that. I'm super excited.
I'm excited to be here. I'm
Yes.
excited to be serving Rutland County Humane Society. It's a wonderful organization. Animal welfare is my passion, so I'm right where I need to be.
Fantastic. We're so happy to have you. And you also have a lovely guest with you today.
Yes.
This is always everybody's favorite part, right? Our
I'd like to
special
introduce
guest.
Mila. Mila is a good girl. Yes, hi. She's a very good girl.
She is. She's a lovely girl. She's been introducing herself to the whole staff
She
today.
has. Look how cute
we
she
thank
is.
We thank Chelsea and Jim and Rich for helping us today too. And she's introduced herself to all of them. And she's been a very polite, nice girl to have with us today. So. I think, Jennifer, we're just going to toss you in the deep end, and,
Okay.
and we'll jump into the show you what it's all about.
Okay.
It's fun. It always goes by really fast. And we'll get to the favorite part, which is seeing the animals that are up for adoption.
Yes.
The Rutland County Humane Society, which is still on Stevens Road
It
in
is.
Pittsford
It is.
until we...
We're going through the permitting process right now, and I don't expect we'll be moving until probably 2028. We'll start, our capital campaigning. So unless somebody wants us to write us a big check, it'll be a couple of years.
It might be a while, so
Yeah.
so I'm sure we'll be getting updates on
Absolutely.
the show, and viewers will be excited to hear those updates and to know how they can help. That's what we always want to know, is how can we help, right? Okay, so Jennifer, if you wouldn't mind introducing us to our first
Okay,
pet.
so first on the list is Mila. She's about 2.5. She came to us when somebody was moving and they couldn't take her with them. She's good with cats, she's good with kids. She does have a little bit of a leg, if you can see in the video. She kind of has a little wonky step to her. She did get hit by a car when she was a puppy, and unfortunately didn't receive any medical attention at the time. It did heal the way it healed, and she doesn't have any issues with it. Diagnostically, there's no concerns. She's been checked out, and she's just got a little bit of an interesting step to her, but she's very sweet and happy-go-lucky. She does tend to bond with her person. We have seen that a little bit when we've had her at the shelter. She kind of, just sticks like, glue. So something to keep in mind, because she does get very attached to her person. So yes, she's available for adoption now. No other issues. She's healthy and happy girl. She knows some basic commands, and she is seemingly house trained from what we can tell. So
Well, she's a lovely girl, very friendly, sweet, young, and so much life ahead of her.
she does.
Yes, great girl. We're happy to have her in the studio with us today.
Yeah.
Yes, you. She just
She's
turned
so-
around and looked at me. She's so
a great
smart.
girl, yes, she's a good girl. And then the next dog on our list is Mischief. He's a mixed breed, or she's a mixed breed, I'm sorry, it's female. She's about a year old, very young, very puppyish. She does know some basic commands. She would really do well in an active family. She has, she has pretty high energy, so we would want to make sure that the home that she went to was an active family. She's definitely not a couch potato, so But other than that, she's great. She came in as a stray, so we don't have a ton of history on her, so we're still kind of getting to know her. She hasn't been with us long. So, and then the next dog we have is Tucker. Tucker's a boy. He's very sweet. We don't have any history with cats or kids or other dogs. He was an owner surrender. They couldn't keep him, but didn't have any interaction with any other animals or kids. He's very young. He's a little over a year old as well. He knows some basic commands. He is another high energy dog. Would benefit from a family that was active. And that likes to go on long adventures. He would be probably a hiking buddy if somebody wanted a hiking buddy.
I
But
think we're all dreaming about these trail systems we have around here and all these wonderful places to hike, like
Yes.
Pine Hill Park and where, the area where the shelter is, we have the Pittsford Trails system. There's so many nice places to get out with your dogs. We have dog parks around here.
Yes.
So, my goodness, I think we're all thinking about that. Tucker looks like he's
ready.
raring, ready to go.
he's definitely ready.
If you're thinking about getting back into your routine or a little bit of a fitness program, he looks like he is. He says, "I'm your man."
Yeah, he'll get you there. He'll be a great fitness buddy. A lot of motivation
Absolutely.
there with that guy. So.
That's good.
And then the next on our list is Nellie. She's a terrier, if you couldn't tell. She was found as a stray. She is young, doesn't seem to have had a whole lot of training, so she does need somebody who'd be committed to teaching her some manners. But she is very cute. She's got that cute terrier face. So, yeah, we have about 9 months. And we don't have any history with other dogs, with cats, or with any children, but we always ask people to come in with their entire family
Yes.
anytime they meet an animal, just to see how they would react, see how the children will react with the dog. And we always do meet and greets with other dogs, to make sure that the dog in the shelter will do well in the home with the dog that it's going into. So.
That's really important. It really is a whole family kind of decision, and everyone has to kind of get along. And,
Yeah.
I'm such a sucker for a terrier. We've always had terriers in my home, so I love her. She kind of looks like Jack from Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, yeah, she does.
She does. She has
does.
a little bit, or maybe Benji from when I was growing up. There were those Benji movies.
Yeah, she's a little bigger than your Benji, but
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, but she's super cute.
Yeah, she's very
And
cute.
only less than a year old.
Yeah,
right?
she's less than a year old. Yeah, she's very
Young girl.
So, yeah, and she came in as a stray. So, she's very sweet. And then the next dog we have is Lady. So Lady came to us. We were actually, one of our local vets reached out to us. She had parvo. They were not able to afford her treatment, so, because it can be very expensive. They had only had her for a few days. They had got her from somebody else. We told them that we would help, and so she came to us, and she was in quarantine for, a couple weeks until we knew she was safe, and over the parvo. She is young. She's like a red bone hound mix, or potentially, she looks a lot like a red bone hound, purebred, but, so we have her has maybe 10 or 11 months. She's very treat motivated. She's very smart. She is active. We feel like she probably would do better with older kids. She's still learning how to share her stuff.
Yes.
So she needs a little work with that. So we felt older kids would be a better choice.
Yes.
Just,
A little grumpiness around toys and feeding
Right.
and things of that nature.
Yes, yes. So, nothing that we think she couldn't be worked with, and She is a really sweet girl, though. I myself spent quite a bit of time taking care of her when she was isolated, dealing with her illness, because we had to keep traffic in that area to a minimum.
Right.
So I don't handle, directly take care of the animals, so it was easier for me to go in and deal with her because I wouldn't expose any other animals in the shelter.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
So,
And you're, you're tight on space where you are.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's important.
Yeah,
have
so,
that space.
so and that's challenging too, to have to isolate an animal there because they actually have to be in another building, which is really, is kind of difficult because it's not really meant to house animals, but we can do that in certain situations. But we made it work, and she's all better, and we're happy to be able to send her on to a new life, and yeah, she's very cute.
Now, tell me, parvo I know that's something we have a vaccination for.
Yes.
So she likely wasn't vaccinated. Can she be vaccinated now, or is there not a chance that she would wouldn't get it again?
So we did vaccinate her. Once they get it, though, they do build a pretty good immunity to it.
Yeah.
But we still vaccinated her
Right.
as a precaution regardless.
So
but-
now she has all the vaccinations.
She's got extra immunity.
As any pet would have coming from the shelter, has all of her vaccinations
Yes.
and is ready
Yep,
to
spayed
go.
and neutered, all up to date on their vaccines. They've had wormings and flea treatment and, yeah.
Microchipping,
Microchipping, yes, everything.
Everything.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so people, that's always something to think about too, when you're online and you're looking at a pet that you're interested in and you're looking at the adoption price, you have to think of everything that goes into it, and it's still very reasonable.
Yes.
But you're bringing home a pet that is fully ready to go, vetted, and you can track them, and
Yes.
they've been spayed and neutered, and all of those are very, for those of us who go to the vet regularly, those are expensive.
Yeah, it's very costly. Spay and
yes.
neuter alone can be pretty costly for
Absolutely.
somebody. So,
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so, and then, let's see, who else do we have next? We have Rocky.
Rocky.
He's about 3 years old. He's a mixed breed. He did come in as an owner surrender. Apparently, he just got to be too big for their home. He's lived with children, and he did really well with them. Not really sure with other dogs, but again, we always do proper dog introductions to be sure that they would do well. He is good with cats, and yeah, he's really kind of a great all-around dog, really. So.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, so, and again, I mean, they all could use a little bit of some basic training, I think, in most cases. He's working on it. She's trying to get him to sit, and he says, I don't know what that means.
But he will, it won't be long.
He will, yes, yes.
They pick things up so quickly, and when you think about it, they're in the shelter, and they're getting lots of attention from the staff, but the staff has lots of different animals to pay attention to. So
Yes.
imagine once they come home and they have their own people.
I know, and it's amazing how to see how they do in the shelter environment, and then to see them go into homes and get follow-ups. We do follow-ups with our adopters, and they send us pictures, and it's almost like, is this the same dog? Because it's like night and day in a lot of cases. I mean, the shelter, we do the best we can. Obviously, we're the safe haven to help them graduate to their next life. Right. And we do the best we can, but the shelter environment is not a great environment for them to be in. And the longer they're there, the longer I think it does have effect on even their mental state. I know I couldn't imagine being in a kennel for long periods of time, day in and day out.
And they are so well cared for at the shelter and by the staff, but every pet deserves their own people, their own family, and it's so wonderful to see that happen.
Yeah, it is. It's very heartwarming. In some cases, kind of bittersweet because we get attached.
Of course.
I mean, who wouldn't? They're wonderful companions. So
yeah, Jennifer was telling me that she's fostering a dog right now. So
a little puppy. We're calling him Buck. He's very cute, and he's going to be a tough one to
To
to,
let-
s-
to
to
let go. Yes.
But that's what fostering is, and we can always use fosters. They're so important, so valuable, because again, they help get the animals out of the shelter, and they can actually give us feedback on how they do in a home environment, which is so valuable in terms of figuring out what the best environment they would do well in. So we are always looking for fosters, especially dog fosters. So if you're interested, please reach out to the shelter.
That's a great point to bring up. My dad and his wife, they had to put down their longtime dog back before the holidays, and he came from your shelter. I actually picked him out, and it's been very difficult for them. And it's been a few months, and they're going on a trip next month. But afterward, I thought I might talk to them about the idea of fostering.
Oh, yeah. That would be
They seem
wonderful.
like the type that would become foster fails and end up with their dog. But
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that because I am guilty. I definitely am guilty. It doesn't usually end well with when I'm doing it either, but it is a nice way to kind of try an animal on for size, I guess.
Absolutely.
And see if it's a good fit, and then, and then if not, then you're helping it to move on to living its best life, and,
and you can
and
open
it's
up your
okay.
home to another.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yes.
and it's okay if you fail, because it just means a home for one of the animals in the shelter. So
It's the best
either
kind
way,
of failure.
Win-win. It's a win-win for us. so.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So-
So for folks out there who are thinking about that, it's a great way. It's a great way to dip your toe in the water, and certainly helpful to the
Yes.
animals and helpful to the shelter too, because it frees up
Absolutely.
more space.
Yes, absolutely, yes, and gets the animals out in a more homey environment. So,
Right.
yeah,
Good.
so the next dog we had was Blue. He has not been with us for very long. He just came in pretty recently. He's a blue tick coonhound. He came in as a stray, which, if you can believe it, he's so cute. Those hound
Aw.
dogs, they are so cute.
Look at those ears.
I know. So he's a little over a year old. We have him about a year and a half. We don't have any history because he was a stray, which is always tough when they come in as strays, because we never really know what their life was before they came to us.
Right.
So we don't have any history with cats, kids, or other dogs. But again, we always, have people bring their own dog in to do a meet and greet, to be sure that they're going to get along, obviously. He is very sweet. He does seem to know some basic commands. Very treat motivated. If you like to do a little hunting or hiking, I'm sure he would be a great buddy to do that with. He's a very sweet boy. We do have him, as you can see, he's a little nervous when he meets new people, but, sometimes
Aw,
he's so cute.
he's so
He seems to be
cute.
pretty resilient about it. So he's a good boy.
Great boy.
Okay, and that's kind of what we had with the dogs. So we only have a couple cats available, which is a great thing.
Yes, wonderful.
We've been doing wonderful with our adoptions, and I can't thank the public enough and my wonderful staff for just rocking it out, so it's shout out to them. We've been doing some great adoptions. Some long-term animals have gone home,
Oh,
and
that's the
that
best.
is really the best. So, so it's been wonderful. So we only have a couple cats. They're very young. We have Cheese, who is very
Aw.
sweet. So she has a little cone on her head, because on her neck, this cone of shame is what I like to call it.
Yes.
Because she was, she'd just gotten spayed, and she was kind of working at that incision, so we were trying to keep her away from it a little bit. But she's very cute.
Oh, she's adorable. I saw her on your website.
She's a
So
very sweet little
cute.
girl. So I'm sure she probably won't last long. You can tell she just loves it. Loves attention, loves everybody she meets. She's hanging out in our reception area, so.
I bet she's
like-
ready to get that cone of shame off, though.
Yeah, she's our greeter, and she does a wonderful job, so, oh my God, she's so cute.
She's too cute.
And yeah, we have her about roughly 4.5, 5 months, so,
Just a baby.
She's just a little one, so if you're looking to add a little one to your clan, would be a great choice.
Absolutely. What a cutie.
She is cute. And then we have one other cat. We have Penne.
These names are going to make me hungry.
we're on the Italian theme, I think.
Yes.
So Penne is about the same age, a little over 4 months. So Penne did test positive for feline leukemia. Feline leukemia, it is easily transmissible to other cats. It usually happens through prolonged contact, and it's got to be close contact. Mutual grooming usually is the biggest one, but they can be transmitted over a long period of time if they're sharing food bowls and litter boxes and things like that, because it is transmitted through bodily fluids. So sometimes, in some cases, some of these cats can live with feline leukemia, live a long life, as long as they're kept indoors, which we advocate for anyway,
Right.
just because it's just safer for them to be inside. And, but I mean, ultimately, I think and is it a boy? I'm not sure if Kenna is a boy or a girl. It might be a boy. No, it's a girl. She was a little girl.
Little girl.
So things, to kind of keep, keep in mind is, she might get a little sicker, a little easier when she's exposed, obviously, to anything in the outside, again, which is why it'd be important to keep her inside. And the fact that she tested positive, there have been instances where it could be a false positive. So, so it could have been where she was just exposed recently, and she's showing positive. Come in and stop in and see her, because she's very sweet, and again, they can live a long life if they're taken care of properly. So, so I wouldn't want anybody to deter that. We would obviously provide some education if somebody had another cat in the home, because it is transmissible if they did get close. But there are vaccines for feline leukemia. So,
Oh, okay.
So as long as the cat in the home is vaccinated, then it would be okay, I think.
So that sounds pretty manageable,
Yes.
and not as scary as it might sound in
Right.
the offset. So
Yeah.
she's adorable.
She's cute.
So cute.
And then the last animal we have is Chuck, who is our little hamster. He's
Oh,
so
we don't have
cute.
them very often. Look how
No.
cute.
Isn't he cute? So for people that aren't aware, they're great. They're great pets. They only live for a few years, unfortunately. So they have a short lifespan. They are pretty nocturnal and actually prefer to live alone. They're solitary animals for the most part.
That's good to know, because normally when we have guinea pigs on, we encourage to get another guinea pig or to take
Yes.
them as pairs. But these are solo flyers.
Yes, they actually prefer to live by themselves. If you have two that are next to each other, it can actually really stress them out to even be able to see each other.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay,
if you had more than one and you were keeping them separate, you should do it in different spaces.
different rooms or
Yes,
different, so
where
they
can't see each
can't
other.
see one another.
So-
That's really interesting. I've never known that. I love hearing new information like that. So they like to be alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least from their own species, right?
Right,
Do they
right.
like, does he seem to like to be handled?
Yep, they're handleable. They're great little companions. They are nocturnal, so and they love to burrow, as you can see there.
So you might not want to keep them in the bedroom, a
Maybe-
child's bedroom, because
maybe
it
not.
could keep your kid up at night, right?
Could, yeah, it could.
Maybe the playroom, if you have one of those, or a separate space.
Yes.
Because that's when he likes to get active.
Yep.
He's cute. He likes to dig his little burrows. And we don't see hamsters very often on this show, so it's fun to see him.
Yeah.
He has cute markings.
And he's got a great name. Chuck.
Chuck.
Goes with the cat cheese, I guess.
Yes. Oh, he just looked up at the camera for a minute.
Yeah.
So they eat some sort of little pellet type food, or
Yeah, like it's the hamster. It's
They have
usually like a
special hamster
seed
food.
type food that's very specific, pellet type food that they eat that's very specific to them.
And obviously you can get them little wheels and toys and things that they like to play
Yes.
with.
And again, they love to burrow, so having something in their habitat that they can kind of get in and
Those little
kinda
hidey hole type
yeah, they love
things,
that.
yes.
So, yep.
He's adorable. He's ready to go. There's little Chuck right there.
Yep.
Love it. So that's a sample of what you have available for adoption. We always tell viewers that things change.
If
and
they do.
And they can change quickly.
Daily.
So if you're interested,
Please.
give a call. Your
Please.
website stays pretty well updated as well to
Yes.
get extra information. So folks can always do that. And the best thing to do is to come, set an appointment, or at least know you're coming in during specified visiting hours and see them for yourself,
Yes.
right?
So there's no appointment necessary. We're open 11 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday. We're not doing, I know we were doing dog appointments for a little while.
Yes.
We're not doing that anymore. So I think it gives the, people, it's so nice to be able to go into a shelter and be able to see what's there and be able to
Yes.
connect firsthand. I think that's important.
Because sometimes sometimes you come in to see one pet and you make a connection with one that you didn't expect to.
Right,
And you
yeah.
have to kind of let that happen sometimes,
Yeah.
right? That process
Be
happens.
open to
Yes.
that.
I adopted a cat one time because I remember I was in to look at a kitten, and this older cat reached out and just like touched me on the top of my head, and it made me notice her. And then I
Yes.
started spending some time with her, and I brought the older cat home. So
Isn't that great?
You never know.
You
gotta
don't.
let that happen.
And they do pick you.
They do pick
I
you,
think
absolutely.
they absolutely
She
pick
for
you.
sure. She was like, boop,
Yeah.
So
Hey, pay attention to me. Take me
sometimes
home.
you have to let that chemistry and those connections happen.
Yes.
And if we're too, set on a description or something we see on a website and don't just meet more than one, you can't let that process happen.
Yeah, and we have a lot of great dogs. Again, they're super well cared for, and I give kudos to my animal care staff because they have a difficult job.
Oh, yes.
One of the most difficult jobs in the shelter. So, but they do such a great job, and it's just nice to see them find their people.
Look at Mila. Does she get the best dog award?
She is a very good girl.
I'm telling
Oh my
you,
God.
there have been times when Beth has been sitting in that chair and she is getting pulled all over the place, or the dog is barking at the screen. Like, you never know what's going to happen. They love to put us through the ringer sometimes. But Mila, my goodness, what a good girl.
She's very sweet.
I mean, they're all good, but
Yes.
she's she's made for TV.
She is. She definitely is. So, and because she's got the old injury in her leg, she would make a great dog for somebody that, doesn't mind taking a casual walk, but doesn't want to have a dog that you have to really exercise a lot, because she just doesn't physically, she doesn't need that, nor could she really sustain that too much.
So a little more of an easygoing pace for
Yes.
Mila, and she'd be
Yes.
happy probably to sneak up on the sofa and snuggle with you.
From the way she's acting right now, I'm pretty sure that would
She
be
is just leaning right into it, isn't she?
yeah.
What a sweetheart. Well, while we have a couple of minutes, it's hard to leave Mila's sweet face there, but while we have actually a few seconds, maybe we could put your wish list up on
Yes.
there to show some of the things that people can do. They can go out shopping and support the Rutland County Humane Society. Boy, time flew by. Thank you for
did.
joining us
Thank you
today,
for having
Jennifer.
me.
and Mila.
So enjoyable, and I think
Excited
Mila
to see you.
appreciates it too.
Be excited to see you next time.
Yes, me too.